5 News at Noon starts now.
We're learning more information about the death of Renee Good. I'm Ian Lee in Minneapolis with details on that, plus more on the ICE raids and ongoing protests.
Plus, starting tonight, several events are happening across the area honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're breaking down the events from today through Monday. Thank you so much for joining us here for your 5 News at Noon. I am Tiffany Lee here with meteorologist Danny Cassidy.
Hello.
Where, Danny, you brought Minneapolis, where you're from, with you here, where it's going to be a little chilly over the weekend.
Yes.
No snow, though. I know you were wanting that.
I know. I wanted some snow. Flurry is probably the best we can do. But, yes, we can feel the chill out there. The wind's kind of the big culprit, and we're going to feel that throughout the weekend. I'll show you what's going on right now outside your window. And as you're seeing, really across the region, a partly to mostly cloudy sky. A little bit more blue there, seen in Fort Smith as well as in Poto. A little bit more gray across northwest Arkansas, and temperatures for the most part in the 40s across the region, and they're not going to get much higher than this for the rest of the day just because of that northwest wind. That wind's anywhere between 10 to close to 20 miles per hour. You can see a little bit higher there in northwest Arkansas as well as eastern Oklahoma. Those areas could see gusts maybe as high as 30 miles per hour. So as I'm noted here, temperatures not going up very much over the next few hours, and as we go through the overnight hours, could see some flurries. Those are those 10%. But again, just that flurries, nothing to really worry about. For the River Valley, maybe even dropping a little bit through the afternoon. And overnight, we'll see a partly cloudy to mostly clear sky. But again, the winds are going to keep things on the colder side. For the weekend, you notice pretty chilly for us tomorrow. A little bit warmer on Sunday, but note that overnight low, especially Sunday morning, in the teens. We can see wind chills in the single digits in some spots. We'll talk more about that here coming up in your full forecast. Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, the city of Fayetteville is activating its extreme weather response tomorrow, making sure everyone has a warm place to go with these cold temperatures. Shelter check-in starts at 5 tomorrow evening. Meals will be provided at Potter's House on College Avenue. To see a list of shelters or warming centers in your area, you can text the word WARM to 479-785-5000. Well, in a developing story, the Cherokee Nation says that it's hearing from its citizens who are concerned about ICE activity on tribal land in northeast Oklahoma. Tribal leaders are now reaching out to federal contacts to confirm whether those operations are taking place and to understand their scope. The nation says that its priority is the safety of its citizens and maintaining open communication with any federal or state agencies operating within reservation boundaries. Officials advise citizens to remain polite and cooperative with law enforcement while being mindful of their rights. Any concerns can be reported to the Cherokee Nation Marshal Service at 918-207-3800. One more protest in Minneapolis last night over the presence of federal immigration agents. Ian Lee is in Minneapolis and shares the new details that we're learning about the fatal shooting of Renee Good.
Anti-ICE protesters clashed with authorities outside a federal building in Minneapolis Thursday night.
Let him go!
The embattled city has been a flashpoint since the surge of about 3,000 federal law enforcement officers into the Twin Cities over the last several weeks.
What we are witnessing
This morning, Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar and Washington State's Pramila Jayapal held a hearing in St. Paul about alleged constitutional violations.
If they can erode the rights of some, they can do it to you. No one is safe.
President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act and deploy troops to Minneapolis to directly conduct law enforcement.
It provides the president with extraordinary power, and frankly, we don't have a lot of precedent to indicate that there are significant checks either from Congress or the judicial branch to second guess the president.
At the scene of the fatal shooting of Renee Good, we're learning from the Minneapolis Fire Department that she was hit in the chest, forearm, and head.
Oh, check a pulse.
No. The report shows paramedics arrived 5 minutes after Good was shot and found her unresponsive with an irregular pulse. Life-saving efforts were attempted on the scene and in the ambulance. Good was pronounced dead at the hospital.
We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos.
The mayor has called for calm in the ongoing protests. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says there are no plans to pull ICE out of the city. Ian Lee, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Well, back here at home in Bentonville, a new lawsuit is filed against a former youth pastor and a Bentonville church alleging negligence in actions relating to child abuse sex crimes. Keenan Horde was a former youth pastor at First Baptist Church in Bentonville. He was convicted of 13 counts of sexual assault 3 years ago and is now serving a 60-year sentence. The lawsuit claims that he was given, quote, unfettered access to minors during his time as pastor, and the church should have known and reported it. You can find more details on our website, which is 5newsonline.com. Oklahoma's Attorney General says that he's working on a fair settlement to protect family farms. And today we're hearing from farmers who say that they're worried that Tyson Foods may not renew contracts with them. Back in December, a federal judge in Tulsa ruled against poultry companies, saying that they knew their growers' fertilizer was polluting the Illinois River watershed. The companies now face penalties, must help clean up the watershed, and fund a team to oversee it. Well, this week, growers met with Oklahoma state leaders to talk about the long-running lawsuit. Even though the Attorney General is working on a settlement, farmers remain concerned about their future.
They trust us to take care of their chickens. They pay us to raise their chickens, and at the end of the day, we're the ones on the line, not the company.
Well, just last night, the Washington County Quorum Court unanimously passed a resolution supporting growers and urging a return to negotiations. Benton County passed a similar resolution last month.